Welcome to Sassafras Valley.
Now, time to make this outside ring that's going to be on the outside to make it look like a porthole. What I did is I made it big enough that it would cover the boards that framed it. But the proportions just didn't look right. It was just too big. So what Captain recommended is that we cut this down to just 3 inches. Okay? So this line right here is 3 inches from outside to inside here, and that will be the dimension that we cut the circular covering on the inside and the outside. That'll save a little bit of material, and I agree with him. I think it'll look more proportional than having the big. Let me turn it over so you can see. Instead of having, of course, this would be cut back to match the frame. As you can see, it's a very small hole in a very large frame. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this back here and keep it as a template so that I can proceed into making the other parts. Okay, so now, if you look at this, does it not look more like a porthole? Well, I'm going to go ahead and start laying out the this shape on the plastic. So this is the material that I'm going to use. It's called a handy panel. This is a 2 foot by 4 foot by 3/8 inch thick. I'm going to, it has 2 sides. It has one that's textured like wood, and since it's going to be on the outside of a concrete boat, I'm going to use the other side, which is smooth. I've already located the centers, and I need to draw a ring 3 inches in diameter. That's 18 on the outside and 12 on the inside. So I've got this set up. I'm going to do 2 of them. I've got 1 on each end. I'm going to go ahead and draw the 12-inch circle. One on each end. And then I'll reset and do the 18-inch circle. So I need to expand this out to here, but to make sure that that's correct, I'll double check by resetting this to 9 inches. And that should be pretty close. I'd say that's pretty close. That'll give me a 3-inch ring around the outside of the porthole. Okay, so there's my 2 portholes. Now what I'll do is I'll take the jigsaw and rough cut these. This will just be a rough cut. Just would need to make it small enough I can get it to the bandsaw. When you're cutting this stuff, you really don't want to run your saw too fast. This is a variable speed because it will burn, melt the plastic. Okay, so that makes 2 of them. Okay, because this material is only 3/8 of an inch thick, I'm going to go ahead and make 2 more of these, and then we'll glue them together to make 3/4 inch thick. I'll go ahead and cut these out, and then I'll catch back up to you when we're ready to glue. Well, I'm going to glue this together. I've drilled holes through them so that the centers can be aligned with a 1/4 inch pin. The 2 sides that have the wood grain on them will be glued together. Okay. And I have a mark here that shows which edge should be on, and I'm going to be using clear PVC cement. I'll only be putting it on one side because it dries so fast, and I have a mark on here that shows, I may have to get that off of there. What is that? That may be some of the label. I have a mark here that shows the area where the glue goes. So I'm going to get this paper off of here because I definitely don't need it, and then we'll spread this glue. Won't have very much open time because it dries very, very fast. That should be plenty enough. Okay, so now I'll let that set for 30 minutes or so. So I was unable to cut this on the bandsaw. So what I did is I made a real simple jig here with an edge trimming bit, and I bored a hole, tapped it in a piece of nice flat plywood, and I'm using that hole that I made through the centers of these to guide it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make several passes and just trim a little bit off at a time. It'll get more round as it goes, and we'll get rid of the rough cut edges here. So I've turned the router down to the slowest speed it has, which is 8,000 RPMs. And I don't know how bad the chips are going to be, but they're pretty lightweight. They'll probably blow all over the place, but at any rate, I'll use my eye protection on this. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and give this a try. Could tear the whole thing up, or maybe it's going to work. We'll see. Okay. Well, that's not bad. It's not bad. I got a little bit of a notch right there. I got a little bit of a void right here and here. So I got to go another 1/16 of an inch. At least I know how to do it now. Right there. All right, let's take a look at her. Pretty smooth all the way around. I think that'll work. Got just a little bit of a reveal right here where the two pieces come together, but I don't think that'll be a big deal in the grand scheme of things. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the other one, and then we'll start working on the inside. Going to cut it out on the scroll saw and just get it close, because then I take this same bit and I shape it after I glue it to the frame, and then I shape it into the hexagon. Okay. Let's see what happened. Ah, it re-glued. See here? So I'll go in there and take a utility knife and I'll cut that out of there. That's I set that speed down so it wouldn't be quite so hot. It's not sticking to the blade, so I can turn it down just a little bit more. That seems to be cutting pretty good though. Well, last one was welded together pretty good. So on this one, I'm going to slow it down just a touch and not feed it quite as aggressively. I couldn't get that cut with the box knife. What I ended up doing is bringing it back in and running it around the kerf again, because it had welded together pretty good on the back side. So this time I'm going to take a little more time with it. Yeah, that sounds good. See if it'll lift out of there now. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Okay, time to assemble the ring to the casing here. And what I've done is, it needs to be centered in that hole. Okay, so what I've done is I've done a trial fitting, and I put 2 dowels in here that will allow me to put it on in the right location. This is the port window. If you'll remember, the 2 windows that he measured were slightly different sizes, so there's a slight difference in these, not much. But everything's been made to match. So this is the port side. Got a dot there and a dot here. Those dots go together, and after I get the glue on it, the dowels will guide it home. Yeah, we'll guide it home so that once it's on there, it aligns with those marks. So don't have a lot of working time, so I'll have to basically just get the glue on, get them together, get them in the clamps. I have masking tape. I don't care how much gets on the outside, it'll never be seen. It'll be inside of the window frame itself. But I don't want the inside here to get glue on it. So I'll have to be fairly careful when I put it on there. And let's see, I got so much stuff on my little table here. Let's do it this way. Let's get this one over here, this one over here, and I guess I'm ready to glue. The dowels have no strength to it whatsoever. They're merely for alignment. And let's see, where's my spot? Oh, I laid it down the right way. All right. Now, glue out of the way. Get this in the clamp. I'll get that secured. And then I'll put one over here. Here. And one here. Okay, I think that's pretty good. A little tighter there. Okay, so I'll let that sit about 30 minutes and then we can do the other one. Show you what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so the router bit will be used to take this outside rim back to match this. Okay, that way water won't pool between the window and this. Well, I'm set up here to wrap this ring around the outside to match the shape of the octagonal window frame. And what I've done is taken my flush trim bit here and put it into my router. This is a plunge router. I don't really need it to plunge, but the plunge router is the only one that I have that has a vacuum. it seems like it's not going to pick it all up, but what I'm going to do is just kind of carve at it slow and let the pilot on the bottom of this bit here follow this rabbet that I cut where the glass is going to go. Should trim it pretty close. I may have to do a little chisel work in the corner, but we'll see. So I'm going to turn the vacuum on and get started. So if you remember, there's a molding that fits right up here. Okay. It's got the glass behind it. And then up here on this top edge, I'm going to take and round it over again. So there won't be but just a little bit of flat between this quarter round and the quarter round here. And then I'll put another quarter round on the outside just to soften this a little bit. But I can add those details on the router table. Be a lot easier than trying to do it handheld. But I think it cut out pretty good. So let's cut around the outside here. It's I think it's a 1/2 inch. I think I'm going to drop down to a 3/8 on this inside. I think it'll make it look just a little better. Match up a little to that 1/4 inch that's down below it. So we'll go 1/4 inch on the molding that's on the inside holding the glass, then 3/8 here, 1/2 inch on the outside. I guess it don't matter too much, but that's what I'm going to do. This molding fits in here like this. Okay. It'll have a 1/4 inch glass behind it. And then there'll be just a little bit of a flat before you get that fall off. I think it's a little detail that works. Okay, well, I think that's all I'm going. I've got all plastic parts finished. Don't think I'm going to do anything more till I get that glass in here. Might do a little sanding on it or something, but in the meantime, I really need to get the wooden parts made. They hook onto the back part here. And finish this out. So I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and send this through quality control while I'm working on the wood.
I do appreciate you watching, and you have nothing less than a wonderful day.